Hello everyone, my name is Nick Green and this is my literature review presentation. Here, pull up the PowerPoint real quick. Alright, so my topic for this was the effect of sports-related concussions on mental health. And this is a really very important issue, especially since today, as you can see in this figure, they are very prominent in sports. You have very high risk of getting a concussion, especially if you play, football or hockey, or some of those other high contact sports. And they've been linked to mental health issues for a long time, so it's very important to do some research into them and kind of determine whether how factually based those links are. And so that's why I chose to look into this, kind of poke around, see what I could find out. So I found 5 articles that all discussed this sports-related concussions, and I'm going to kind of give you a brief summary of those here. Um, So first off, who's being studied? Who are the subjects of these? Obviously, it's going to be athletes, and I found studies that had athletes of all ages in sports, from high school athletes all the way up to retired professional athletes, and all the sports such as soccer, baseball, tennis, basketball, football, hockey. All of those sports were included in these studies. So it's a very wide variety of athletes. So as for what they found, the results, they found that overwhelmingly there was a lot of concrete evidence that suggested that these connections between concussions and mental health issues are actually based in fact. And as you can see in this graph right here that I pulled, you can see that it says that 87% of student athletes said that they would have benefited, or them or one of their teammates would have benefited from having a sports psychologist to help with their mental health. So you can see that student athletes often experience a lot of mental health difficulties or issues. So this is very important, and the links have been found between mental health issues and concussions, as we're going to see here. It says athletes who have a concussion have a 12% higher chance of experiencing depression or negative mental health issues. 23% for athletes who have had concussions in the past, and 11% for the national average of depression or negative mental health issues. Many of these athletes who have had concussions have experienced suicidal behavior or self-harm up to 5 to 6% higher rates than the average. This is a very big deal because normally you would have a lot lower rates of self-harm or suicidal behavior, but after athletes who have had concussions, they have actually higher rates, and athletes who have not had concussions actually have lower rates than the national average by like 8%. So that's a very large statistic, because even though it's only 5%, 5 to 6% higher than the average rate, it's actually like 13 to 14% higher than their peers. And then many times athletes end up after a concussion experiencing extreme anxiety or paranoia, which are other slightly less serious mental health issues. So as you can see, clearly the concussion does have an effect on the mental health of the athlete. And so that's very important that we try to help mitigate this. And so that's why I found a couple of jobs that can help with that. The sports psychologist can obviously look at the mental aspect of the concussion injury and try and help the athlete through what they're struggling with mentally, not just physically. And then the athletic trainers, who are obviously the ones that diagnose concussions, they'll be the ones to do all the concussion testing. So if changes could be made to that protocol to include just the whole body, not just the physical aspect of it, not just can they go back out there and play, but how are they doing mentally? How are they feeling? Are they experiencing these negative mental attributes that we don't want to see? And how can we prevent those? And that is something an athletic trainer can work with specialists and decide different ways to go about the diagnosing and the um, treatment of concussions. So thank you very much, and hope you all have a great day.